Hey there, CJ Messens. I'm going to help you through note 8.9. Any problems I don't finish will probably be covered in Ed Puzzle. But also finishing these notes and any notes you haven't finished in any Chapter 8 is your homework for this weekend. And remember, your binders are collected on Monday because you have a test on Monday. So Station 1 is find the missing side of each triangle, round your answers to the nearest tenth if necessary. So remember, when we are trying to find a missing side of a right triangle, we can use Pythagorean theorem. If the hypotenuse is missing, the easiest thing to do is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So in this case, 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to c squared, or 9 plus 16 is equal to c squared. C squared is 25. That is not your answer. Remember, you have to take square root. So c in this case is equal to 5. This is different from a problem, say, like number 2, where we go from the right angle and we see that we do have a number on the hypotenuse. When we do that, we want to use c squared minus a squared equals b squared. So in this case, 15 squared minus 12 squared is equal to b squared, or 225 minus 144 is equal to b squared, or in this case, 81 is equal to b squared, and then finish by taking the square root. So b is equal to 9 centimeters. All right, so what I'll do now, instead of doing more problems, is just kind of walk you through what equations you'll use. Number 3, you're going to want to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Number 4, you're going to want to also use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, again, because we don't have a number for our hypotenuse. On number 5, we do have a number for our hypotenuse, so we use c squared minus a squared equals b squared. Number 6, same thing. We have a number on our hypotenuse, so we'll use c squared minus a squared equals b squared. 7 and 8, I'll kind of leave for you to figure out. Station 2, applying Pythagorean theorem. So here we have a television size. We discovered that in the past it's determined by this diagonal right here, 42 inches. If the TV has a diagonal of 42 inches and a length of 36, what is the approximate area of the television? Notice it isn't just saying what's this side. We do have to figure out that side, but we know that the area of a TV is base times height. Now we have a base, we don't have a height. What we can do is use Pythagorean theorem to find that height. So we have 42 here, 36 here. Notice we have a hypotenuse, so basically we'll be using c squared minus a squared is equal to b squared. So in this case, 42 squared minus 36 squared is equal to b squared, or 1,764 minus 1,296 is equal to b squared, or in this case, 468 is equal to b squared. Taking the square root gives you your answer of b is equal to 21.6. So that's about your height, but that's not your answer, right? So the area, or the approximate area, would be the base, 36, times about 22, you could say. And when you do that, you should get around 779, right? Number 6 is a very straightforward problem. I will allow you to go ahead and do that on your own via Ed Puzzle. Here we have an airplane travels due east 65 miles, so here's going east 65, and due north 72 miles. How far is the plane from the starting point? Well, here's its starting point right here, and you can just imagine, okay, here's its end point right here. It's basically just saying, how do you find that? So we don't have our hypotenuse, so therefore we'll use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we'll get some pretty big numbers here, but we'll be able to solve it using Pythagorean theorem. So 65 squared turns out to be 5,184, plus 72 squared turns out to be 4,225. Those added together give you 9,409. When you take the square root, you'll find out that b is equal to 97. So it is 97 miles from its starting point if you were able to draw a diagonal line from the starting point to the end point. A guy wire is secured into the ground 15 feet from the base. So here's its base, it's 15. on a 36-foot tall pole. So here's the pole that's 36, right? So there's your right triangle. You're missing your hypotenuse. I will let you go ahead and use Edpuzzle to solve that a squared plus b squared equals c squared problem. All right, number 7 is a pretty important one. I'm going to do number 7. You should be aware that we could probably see this on our test. So John takes a shortcut on his way home from basketball practice each day. There's a rectangular field that is 72 meters long and 30 meters wide. Instead of walking along the two sides of the field, John walks diagonally across the field. How much shorter is his walk? Notice they don't just say find the diagonal. They don't just say find how long the shortcut is. They ask you to find how much shorter his walk is. So here's his shortcut. Yes, you do need Pythagorean theorem to figure out how much shorter that shortcut is, which is 30 squared plus 72 squared is equal to x squared. But that will only give you the shortcut. It will not give you how much shorter his walk is. So when we figure this out, we get 6,084 is equal to x squared. We need to take the square root, and we get x is equal to 102. Nope, sorry, 78, my fault. It's 78. Now, you see A is the answer, but that is not the answer. That's the trick answer. How much shorter? Well, his original walk was he would start here, he'd walk 30 and then go over 72. His original walk was 30 plus 72, or 102. Now, his shortcut is 78. So to figure out the difference between those two, we just do 102 minus 78. And we get that he has to walk 24 meters shorter now. Okay. Number 8 is a exact problem from a previous homework, so you should be able to figure that out. That's the end of part 1.